Similarities and different points, and it is not easy to have.
Does Ankara interpret the recent intensification of Israeli strikes as part of an attempt to block and expand the Turkey military role or foothold in Syria? And given Israel's growing military presence, do you foresee any potential clash between Israel and Turkey there? There are fears that it could lead to a military confrontation between the two armies.
Well, first of all, we don't want to see any confrontation with Israel in Syria, because Syria belongs to Syrians. Syria doesn't belong to Turkey. Syria doesn't belong to Israel. We cannot talk on behalf of the Syrians. The Syrian security should be decided by the Syrians. If they want to partner with certain countries, with certain international companies, they're welcome. If they want to have a certain understanding with the Israelis, it's their business.
The ceasefire and end of the war, because the war became so much destructive. The death toll was unbearable.
And unfortunately, Israel is taking one by one out all these capabilities that a new state can use against ISIS and other terrorist threats. So basically what Israel is doing in Syria is not only threatening the security of Syria, but also is paving the way for future instability of the region. I don't think that it is good for Israel's future in the region.
Destruction, shouldn't be tolerated. Now, Mr. Trump is finally.
Well, the last thing that we want to see in our region, another war, especially on Iran, because we know very well that the Iranians are in favor of addressing this issue in a peaceful manner, a peaceful way. And many times when I interact with my Iranian interlocutors, they all say the same thing. So we need to give a chance the intensive diplomacy.
Security and how we can best address the certain issues, security.
Well, first of all, let me say this. What Mr. Trump and his team is trying to do is something that we really welcome, because for the last couple of years, as Turkey, both under NATO roof and other venues, we were advocating an immediate ceasefire and end of the war.
Analytical techniques and communicating properly with my counterparts.
So when we have Ukraine and Russia agreeing on ceasefire and mediation, it should also encompass what kind of monitoring mechanism or peacekeeping mechanism will be involved, should be also agreed by the both parties. I think now we are a little bit far away from this point. Now we are trying to get the both parties to agree on first ceasefire, then by using this ceasefire to work on a long-term ceasefire. So, and of course, how to enforce or monitor this ceasefire and peace agreement will be part of the discussions by both parties.
Because as one of the regional important countries, we always advocate the peace.
So in order not to see a re-emergence of the war, there should be a deterrence factor. This is their thinking. So in order to have this deterrent factor in place, so there has to be a security guarantee. The European friends, for the last couple of months, they've been organizing extensive meetings at leadership level, at ministerial level, just to address this issue and to come up with some answer.
Diplomats twice came together in Istanbul.
First of all, I think everybody agrees that without American support in any form, like backstop or a direct involvement, any security guarantee coming from the Europeans would not be enough. So there is a huge effort to get the American side again engaged in security support to Ukraine.
And in fact, as late as last month, Russian and American.
The peculiarities of the current situation is not easy, and will never be easy. So when we look at the conditions and the status in the theater, of course, it will be extremely difficult to digest any proposal. But when we look at the other option, which is more death and destruction, I think whatever the conditions that we have in the theater will be more reasonable in terms of not to go to the other direction. Look at the other option, which is more death and destruction. Maybe it's an opportunity for Europe too, because there has been a huge dependency on the United States since the beginning of the Cold War, you know, and this dependency is so all-encompassing and so big that nobody was even thinking that it is there. So it was taken granted. Now Europe is facing a crisis, but that crisis might lead also an opportunity to really become more independent and less dependent on certain areas to the United States.
All right, thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.